I've had an arched cabinet on my furniture flipping bucket list for over a year. When this beautiful piece showed up on my Facebook Marketplace, I immediately messaged the seller. At $125, it was priced a little higher than I normally like for my flips, but wait until you hear how much it sold for. First step was disassembly. I removed the staples from the backing, pulled the shelf tabs out, and removed the built-in light. Then I vacuumed it with my Milwaukee Pack-Out vacuum and gave the whole thing a good cleaning with Crud Cutter. I used a dental pick to remove the dirt and grime from these tight corners. Then it was time for a scuff sand with 180 grit. This just gives the surface a rougher texture, which I actually just recently learned is called tooth, which is so weird, but this just helps the paint adhere better. Next, it was time to tape off the glass sections that I couldn't remove. Later on, I ended up realizing I was able to remove those side glass pieces pretty easily, which I wish I would have done from the get-go. Always disassemble as much as you can. Although it seems like it takes a lot longer, it ends up saving you time in other areas of the refinishing process. Once it was taped off, I applied 2 coats of my favorite Zinsser primer, sanding in between coats with 320 grit. Now, one of the most important steps, don't forget to do a scratch test of your primer and make sure it's adhering correctly. One more scuff sand, and then it was time for paint. I've been dying to use this color. This is a brownish gray color called Urbane Bronze. It's the perfect warm neutral and even prettier in person. Don't forget to strain your paint and test your sprayer on some cardboard before you get started. After 3 coats of paint and 2 coats of poly, it was time to figure out the inside backing of the cabinet. So I knew I didn't want to keep the original mirror. I felt like it dated the piece and made the inside way too busy. So at first I tried this beadboard wallpaper, but it didn't adhere well and it looked really cheap. So I got this huge piece of actual beadboard from Lowe's. It was a lot cheaper than I thought it'd be, and I used my jigsaw and the original backing as a template to cut out a new piece. So then it fit nice and snug, and after a few quick coats of paint on the backing, it was time for reassembly. Now, when I got the piece from Facebook Marketplace, there weren't any shelves, so I measured and then custom ordered some glass shelves from my local glass shop. It was a little bit pricey because I did have to get tempered glass, but I think it was worth it. So just as a reminder, here's another look at the before, and here is the after. I love how this one turned out, and once I saw it staged in my living room, it was really hard to let go of. But it sold for $635, which left me with just a little under $300 profit. For about 10 hours of work, I made just as much money per hour on this flip as I do at my full-time teaching job. Not too bad for a side hustle. If you want to learn how to refinish furniture, head to my website where you can find my freebies, my favorite products, and my furniture flipping guide and course.